Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Week 5 NFL Recap. If you didn't know who the hell I was, I am the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. Let's break down these Week 5 scores. Number one, we're going to start with Thursday Night Football. I have a cut on the inside of my mouth that is very uncomfortable to speak. I'm not sure where it came from. It's like when you got that small, area that's exposed, so every time any sort of saliva or it rub against your goddamn gums, it's in pain. That's what I'm feeling right now. But nonetheless, I will soldier through. Thursday Night Football, we had the Colts taking on the Patriots in a game in which the Colts should have made the game much closer than what we saw. All right, the score did not speak for the game. The Colts, hands, butterfingers, they missed the dreadlock powers of T.Y. Hilton, all right? I saw about 7-8 drops on the day. Absolutely atrocious. Andrew Luck was out there playing by himself, all right? It looked like masturbation on the field the way this man was playing by himself, man. It's ridiculous. Guys dropping balls that's supposed to be extending drives. Now, they had about 3 drops that led to scores down the line for their team, as if they dropped the ball on that particular drive, but they were still able to get a field goal or some touchdowns out of it on that drive. But on 5 different occasions, they dropped balls in which those drives came to a halt. They had to punt or it led to a turnover. Catch the football. Catch the football. If I'm the Patriots, it's a good team win. Tom Brady got to 500 touchdowns. Flash Gordon found his way into the end zone. However, defensively, there are still a lot of concerns. And on top of that, Kansas City, you're going to see them this week. They got that high-powered offense. We're going to find out where this Patriots defense is really at. But as of what I'm seeing right now, if you're a Colts fan, guys are beating themselves, man. The Colts have been in, how many games they played this season? I don't think they had a bye week just yet. So out of all 5 games, they've been in the game pretty much every single game. Guys got to finish, man. You want to win games, you got to finish. If I'm a Colts fan, I feel a little bit confident as long as guys can start to finish games. But, well, not necessarily confident, but you're heading in the right direction. Or I should say you got people you could play, you could be there at the end of the game. If guys take care of the little things, then this is a whole flip of the record. So I'll say that much you can feel as if you're in these games. The losses do not account for, or I should say your record doesn't reflect the kind of team that you are. However, in a sense, there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance there because your inability to finish games is why your record is what it is. But you understand what I'm trying to say. All right, these teams, you're not one of those teams, other teams are going to walk in and run right over. All right, you're in the game, but it's the little things that's costing you the game. But good victory for the Patriots. They got themselves a W. Next game that we had the Broncos and the Jets. And I told you the Jets were going to go and win this game, upset alert. Why? Because for some apparent reason, the Broncos are sponsored by Katy Perry. They're hot and they're cold. I don't know what the deal is. That defense is really missing Aqib Talib. They're really missing TJ Ward. They're really missing all those other guys from that Super Bowl championship defense because what I'm seeing right now is ridiculous. All right, Robbie Anderson had himself 2 touchdowns. Darn near uncovered. All right, and might I add, the dreadlock powers of Isaiah Crowell, over 200 yards. The damn powers of Bilal Powell. This man almost had 100 yards himself. I think he had, 95, 99, something like that. They had over 300 yards on the ground. If a team runs for over 300 yards on the ground, you're going to lose. Might I add, Sam Darnold didn't do too bad himself. I don't believe he turned the football over. Not that I can remember. I don't think he turned the football over. And the Jets defense played phenomenal against Denver. They took the run game out of the game. All right, Philip Lindsay wasn't able to run the ball. He had no holes to run. I think he had like 61 yards or something like that, but it was a very tough earned 61 yards. He only had like 1 breakout run. I think it was like 17 yards, 20 yards, something like that. But outside of that, Case Keenum ain't have no time to really get rid of the football. So phenomenal game for the Jets. The Broncos got to get consistent, man, because one week they looking like, oh, wow, this team playing football. The next week it's some what the hell's wrong with you? Get your head out your ass. Start to play consistent football. For the Jets, you too gotta find consistency. You gotta find some consistency. This is the first complete game the Jets played since week 1 against the Lions. And might I add that pick 6 that ended up having McDonald's closed before they scored. I think it was what's his last name? May? Unfortunate for you, buddy. Learn to stay hydrated. Don't run out of gas and water and fuel before you get to the end zone. Finish the damn play. Finish the play. You got tackled at the 1? Come on, man. That's like having a dry orgasm. What's the problem with you? Get it together. Get your head out your ass. But big W for the Jets. Round of applause for you guys. Next game, Packers and the Lions, a game of 2 halves. Might I add, also a game in which we found out who the hell graduated from Nick Folk University in a PhD in Blair Wall Studies and a minor degree in Zane Gonzalez and Daniel Carlson Studies. Or maybe we could even throw in that guy from the Bears last year, Connor Barth. Some of that stuff, because Mason Crosby played absolutely atrocious. You missed 5 field goals, 4 field goals, 1 extra point, but nonetheless, 5 field goals, all right? In total, you accounted for 13 missed points. What are you doing? How much did they lose by? What was it, 31, 23? What are you doing? I'll say this, the Lions played a very good game in the first half. They disappeared in the second half. This is one of the issues that I've always had with Detroit. They can't finish. Why can you not finish? This shit don't make no sense to me. I mean, if you look at what I said about the Colts are a team that can't finish to take the lead. The Lions are a team that can't finish to hold the lead. They got it, honestly, they survived this game rather than them winning the game, because let's just say the Packers make a couple of the field goals that ended up being missed, right? This is a completely different game. All right, I have no confidence. If Mason Crosby makes about 2 or 3 of those field goals, or maybe even give him 1 more, I have confidence that the Packers would have probably won this game. But I'll say this about the Packers. They are struggling offensively. Well, it comes to running the ball, obviously, if you're down 24-0, you're not really going to turn around and try to hand the ball to somebody. You're going to trust Aaron Rodgers to sling it. I think he almost had 450 yards throwing the ball, but hey, they're depleted offensively. Devontae Adams, I think he came into the game later than originally planned, but he was able to find his way into the end zone. But offensive line trying to block for Rodgers, he had 2 fumbles in which he was hit from behind. The pass rush was coming, so that's kudos to the Detroit Lions. Offensively, the Packers got to get it together. Defensively, they got to get it together too. But for the Lions, they got to establish a consistent run game. They got a couple of runs here, a couple of runs there, but they have to get a consistent run game. You had that one time for the first time in 60 or 70 some games against the Patriots when Carryon Johnson had over 100 yards. Outside of that, what the hell has he done since? Nothing. LeGarrette Blount, activate your dreadlock powers. Yes, you went into the end zone twice, but come on, man, what you doing? We need to get more running going on in Detroit if you want to have a complete game. Defensively, they're there. They just got to hold. But for the Packers, get the defense fixed, establish a run game. Maybe you might want to make a trade, try to fight to see if you could get Le'Veon Bell, whatever the case is. But big W for the Lions. Next game we had the Giants and the Panthers in a game in which I thought the refs kind of blew, they blew their wad on the end, because I don't think Christian McCaffrey got the first down. Now, I'll say this. I saw a couple of different replays. In some of the replays, it appears as if he got the first. In other replays, it does not appear as if he got the first. So it's one of those, I don't know what the call was, but this is very similar to what happened with the Gronk catch in week 1, in where it's the ref's fault that this happened because they didn't go to the booth. If you see they're rushing for a sneak, or not necessarily a sneak because they gave it to the damn running back, but if you see it's going to be a crucial 4th and 1 situation, why would you allow them to go rushing and you just say first down and they could spike the ball immediately? It's on the referees, the officials, the people down in New York to go say, yo, we got to go to the booth to view where this ball is spotted. Because honestly, watching it live, the first replay they gave everybody, that ain't a first down. If they took the suicide cam, as the WWE, WWF used to call it, from above and looked at that angle, it looks as if it is a first down. From behind, obviously, you can't tell. It depends on the different angles, but from what was shown to everybody during the game, it did not appear to be a first down. But outside of that one play, Carolina defensively did a masterful job up until the 4th quarter. But they did a masterful job offensively for Carolina. Cam Newton gave them a couple of balls, but outside of that, they were able to move the ball effectively. The Giants stayed resilient and got back into the game. Odell had a hellacious day offensively. Great day. However, special teams, you had some issues. You done ran over there. The ball hit your foot. That led to a touchdown. You dropped a crucial 4th down play. Saquon Barkley, for some apparent reason, still can't seem to run the ball and get out there. Could that be the woes of the offensive line? Of course. But he's yet to have that big-time game on the ground. Don't bring up the Jacksonville game because that was one play. Outside of that, the man only had about 30-some yards, all right? Don't talk about, well, he had over 100. Well, he had a 56-yard run. If I had a 77-yard run like Isaiah Crowell, but I ended the game with 102 yards, you're going to be like, man, he must have been killing them. No, not really. But Isaiah Crowell had over 200, so we ain't talking about that right now. But Graham Gano kicked the game-winning field goal, and in my favorite call of the week, listen to the Spanish people talk about Gano, Gano.
Profundidad va a llegar, Gano lo ganó, 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 señor, Gano lo ganó, Gano lo ganó, yo sí le voy a los Panthers, taca, 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 yo sí le voy a los Panthers, taca, taca, taca.
That was absolutely hilarious. I don't know what they were saying. I enjoyed it. But congratulations to the Carolina Panthers. Watching the Giants lose in their misery is always entertaining for me. So, W for them. For the Giants, you got to get your head out your ass, buddy. Next, oh, might I add, they released Eric Flowers, so that must be ecstatic for all the Giants fans. I'm going to probably try to do a compilation for Eric Flowers lowlights. I'm going to see if I can get the compilation for this year's highlights, but I have the prior year highlights. Yeah, I have them already downloaded. So we'll work on that moving forward. Next, the Titans, the Bills. Wow. This is another game in which both these teams, you're hot and you're cold. Katy Perry challenge. What are you doing? The Titans came out this game, and I'm done with I keep saying DeMarco Murray. I'm done with Derrick Henry. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yes, a bunch of people talking about they're splitting carries with Dion Lewis, all that stuff. I can't do it. I can't do it. This man will break a ton of tackles and never leave the backfield. He'll never leave the backfield. Can't get no positive yardage. I don't understand. I don't know if it's the play calling. I don't know if he's just not in sync with the offensive line. I don't know what the deal is. This man is too big. His physicality, his physique is far too marvelous for him to not have over 100 yards consistently. It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And might I add, Mariota would have had a touchdown in which I believe the Titans would have been able to put the game away. But Nick Williams, I believe that was his name, what happened to my hat? Dropped an easy touchdown. What are you doing? What are you doing? Catch the football. You're in the National Football League. Catch the football. That's what you get paid for. I hope that man got cut. But for the Bills, you played resilient, you played well. All right, now I'm hearing a bunch of talks about LaShawn McCoy possibly being traded back to the Eagles. I don't know how that's going to work out. But the Bills, when they got to play against a big-time team, for some apparent reason, they step up to the challenge. All right, they showed up against the Vikings. Now they showed up against the Titans. They played very well. A lot of people going to say, well, the Titans aren't really a big time. Watch it coming into this game. The Titans looked like they were legit. All right, maybe you got some questions now, but of course, they were looking like they were legit. All right, so congratulations to the Bills. Big time win. Steven Hauska kicked the game-winning field goal. Good victory for you guys. Next. Steelers, Falcons, I'll touch on that last. Ravens, Browns, what did I tell you? I told you the Browns are going to win. A bunch of people were telling me, oh, you just salty because the Ravens beat the Steelers. I know what I'm talking about, man. I know what I'm talking about. If you watch the Ravens versus Browns games, they always are close. All right, and moreover, they know how to match up well with each other. Hugh Jackson knows how to play against John Harbaugh. All right, and if you watch the game, Flacco, oh, what are you doing? Who are you throwing the ball to? Okay, this man, only thing elite about Flacco is the Nike socks that he wears during the game. I told you guys this last year, and I wasn't lying. I hope you don't fall for the genjutsu about Joe Flacco. All right, outside of that Super Bowl run, what did he do? And when I'm talking about the Super Bowl run, I ain't even talking about during the season. Just those 4 playoff games that he played. Outside of that, what did Joe Flacco do? Okay, he done extorted money for all that money that he got for the contract, but he didn't go out there and get the job done. Now, this Browns defense is not no joke. They ain't no slouches. A bunch of people keep making jokes about, oh, the Ravens suck because they lost to the Browns. The Steelers suck because they tied the Browns. The Saints suck because they almost lost to the Browns. All this other stuff that they talking about. The Jets suck because they lost to the Browns. This ain't the Browns from the past couple of years, man. This is a different Browns team. Honestly, every single game they've been in it. They tied with the Steelers. Who did they play week 2? The Saints. They lost by a field goal. Who did they play week 3? I can't remember. No, week 3 is when they won. They beat the Jets. Week 4, what happened? They lost to San Diego. They lost to Los Angeles on some bullpucky. Week 5, they won the game. All of these are small It's a differential of what, under 10 points? I'm sure it's under 10 points. It's ridiculous. All right, this team can easily be 5-0. Stop discrediting this Browns team, man. They're playing some football out there, but the Ravens defense is legit. They're still yet to give up a touchdown the entire second half of the entire season. Their defense can play, but the inept ability of their offense to perform is what's holding this team back. And it's very similar to what I believe is the next team here, which is the Jaguars taking on the Chiefs. But kudos to the Browns, big time W. Baker Mayfield, you got to get yourself polished regarding these turnovers. You got to take care of the football. You see this guy got some zip when he's throwing the ball, but you got to take care of the football. But next, Jaguars, Chiefs. And I told you the Chiefs are going to go out there and win. Why? Because I don't trust the Jaguars offense. Leonard Fournette still out with an injury. All right, he's struggling right now. They just signed Jamal Charles. Hopefully that man can play, because I've been a big fan of Jamal Charles. Watching what he had to go through over the years is very tough. However, I have faith in this man because you saw what happened with Thomas Davis out in Carolina. All right, the man was always hurt, had 3 years in which he had to get his legs back. He came back and he was one of the better linebackers in the league. Jamal Charles, obviously being a running back, is a little bit different, but I hope this man can go in there and produce. But the Jacksonville Jaguars offense was absolutely atrocious. Blake Bortles threw for over 400 yards, but it was not a good 400-yard day. It looked terrible. It looked terrible. And it's another thing that I always critique the Kansas City Chiefs of. They give up a ton of yards, but in the red zone, they always hold it down. Now, the Jags didn't get to the red zone that many times, but offensively, they were able to move the football against the number 1 defense in the league. All right, they weren't able to run the ball that effectively. They were able to throw the ball well. All right, so Mahomes went out there. He played well. They played good. So congratulations to the Chiefs. They got themselves the W. However, offensively for the Jags, if they want to get, make noise in this league and be taken seriously, your offense has to match your defense. Not to the greatness that defense is, but it has to do enough. Remember the 2015 Broncos that went on to win the Super Bowl? They had that legendary defense that they had. Now, Peyton Manning running the show, he's no slouch. He's no slouch at all. However, he did just enough, even though he was playing with that injury on his damn leg. He did just enough. Brock Osweiler came in after he got hurt and he was done for the regular season. And then he came in, and then what happened? He did the exact same thing, just enough to get there. That's what coasted Blake Bortles and the Jaguars last year offensively. Now you're starting to see what's going down with this offense, and you're starting to see Blake Bortles, hey, maybe he ain't the guy. You should have known that, you dummies. Next, Bengals, Dolphins. The Dolphins, you blew it. Dolphins completely blew this game. This should have been a game in which they won. They can't hold on to the lead. I think they were up, 17-3? Something like that. After the punt return, they were up 2 scores, and you blew it like that? What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, what is this, a third Bengals come from behind victory this season? What's going on? Now, they're showing their resilience over there. However, the Dolphins can't seem to hold on to a lead. I don't know what the deal is. All right, maybe you guys been hanging out in Atlanta. Get it together. If the lead was a person, the Dolphins are on their knees. They're giving it a blowjob. Get it together. Get it together. For the Bengals, great resilient win. You guys are getting it done. However, I can't trust Cincinnati just yet. They're playing great football, but I can't trust Cincinnati just yet, because Cincinnati has had a history of doing stuff like this. They look like they're great, and then out of nowhere, they go on a spike downward. So we'll see how things play out down the line, but I can't get on the bandwagon for Cincinnati just yet. All right, that defense, they're giving up points. They did well against this Dolphins team coming back down the line, but hey, that defensive line, they did a good job. Carlos Dunlap, Geno Atkins, you're doing your thing, but I'd pump the brakes if you're hot on Cincinnati just yet. I'll wait until week 8 to give my real verdict about that team. Then Raiders, Chargers, good game. Phillip Rivers, extremely accurate this game. I think it was like 22 for 27. Guy was slinging the ball all over the place. Raiders defense could not contain him. Also, they couldn't get to him either. Now, I'll say this about the Raiders. Why the hell are you not running the football on the 1-yard line with Marshawn Lynch? You run a play action fake, then what happens? Interception. What are you doing? Derek Vickel, what are you doing? All right, they scored their touchdown, but it was far too late to get back into the game. The Chargers completely controlled this game. Martavis Bryant, 15-pound bag of weed in your hand. Butterfingers, you fumble on the play, give the ball back to the Chargers. What are you doing? John Gruden, get it together. And this is going to haunt you the entire season. The entire season. Khalil Mack going to keep doing these things defensively for the Bears. They didn't even play this week, and he had better stats this week on his couch than your defense did. What are y'all doing? I thought y'all was a bunch of Gruden grinders. You're not doing nothing. But congratulations to the Chargers. Good job, you guys. Got the W. Guys were looking great out there, man. They almost had a couple of 100-yard receivers that day, huh? They look good out there. Stay healthy. Stay healthy. I'm singing high praises for the Chargers this season as long as they stay healthy. They got to get that defense down, though. They have to get that defense down. They did all right against this Raiders team, but you see the holes. It's very visible. Good offenses are going to take advantage of that. Get the defense down. Next game that we have, as my phone just happened to go off. Vikings, Eagles, in a game in which the Eagles were under duress the entire game. The Vikings, kudos to you guys. You guys got the W. You almost could put yourself in a situation in which you blew the lead. All right? They held it down. Luckily, they were able to recover the onside kick. The first half was really defensive, but the Eagles' offensive line, I have some concerns. All right, you guys got to be able to block for Carson Wentz, man. This man's on the run all the time. People not blocking. You saw your man's EDP out there, shaking his ass in front of the camera, sticking stuff into his ass with Eagles apparel. It was very disturbing.
Oh my.
You see that ass right there, my nigga? You see that ass? You see that ass, don't you?
Tell me I did not just see that.
Somebody sent me the link. I didn't want to open it. Now I'm scarred for life. I just seen this man's cheeks. But nonetheless, all right, these guys can't block for Carson Wentz. What's going on? He just came back from a season-ending injury. He's coming back now. You don't want to have that happen again. You guys are defending Super Bowl champions. Learn to block for the quarterback. Jay Ajayi, torn ACL, done for the season. You're losing guys. A lot of people is this Super Bowl hangover?
Oh my God! Repeat! 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 We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl again! Super Bowl 53! Dumbass fucking retarded motherfuckers!
What the fuck?
We don't know yet. It's far too early to call that. But defensively, they got the names. They not playing the same. Issues. Adam Thielen, this man legit. 5 straight 100-yard season, 5 straight 100-yard games to start the season. NFL record. They're playing well. You see Kirk, family member, able to command that offense. They still got to get a run game though. They need a run game. But big victory for the Vikings. Next. Rams, Seahawks. Great game by the Seahawks. I was not expecting them to come out here and play that well offensively. The Rams, you know what they do offensively very well. However, I'll say this. Their defense is not as great as I thought they were going to be. Now, granted, that could be the injury missing of Aqib Talib. Marcus Peters got torched. This entire game, he was getting taught lessons the entire game. Stopping the run, it wasn't there for this particular game. I don't know what the deal is, man. I think they had Seattle had over 100 yards, or I think they had one individual person. Was it Carson? I think it was Carson who had over 100 yards. I think that's his last name. But come on, son, what are y'all doing? Now we're talking about Rams being the best team in the league. Record-wise, yeah, I still would give them the nod for the best team in the league, but I'm starting to deduct some points, man. That defense struggling now. They've given up some points back-to-back games. Like, what's going on, man? We've got to get the defense fixed. But offensively, they're still the best offense in the league, in my opinion. They're doing their thing. Todd Gurley's always in the end zone. If you don't got him on fantasy, you might as well just trade your house to get him on your team. But you'll be doing fantasy with no house. So I wouldn't want to do that. Don't be the dummy to go, oh, I just gave away my house. The Adonis said it was a good idea. It wasn't a good idea. I don't endorse you giving away your house. But give your house to me. I'm not going to trade you anything in fantasy. I'm just going to have a house you won't. You're going to be homeless. But nonetheless, all right, next we had the Cardinals, 49ers in a game where nobody really watched. But I'll say this, the Cardinals commanded the entire game. They finally get their first victory on the season. And I told you this was going to be the week in which they get themselves a victory. David Johnson, he had an all right game for the most part. But San Francisco, they're struggling. They're struggling. The injuries are really kicking their ass. You're seeing it with your own eyes. Cardinals defense, this wasn't really one of those games where you watch and say, I can get a real analysis for this team here. It's a very, very confusing game. The Cardinals pretty much owned the entire game. So, yeah, kudos to the Cardinals. Great game for you guys, but It was a very hard game to read. I can't really give an in-depth analysis about it. It was a hard game to read. But Falcons Steelers, before I get into the Sunday Night Football and the Monday Night game, Falcons Steelers in a game in which I was very ecstatic about how the Pittsburgh Steelers defense played. For the Falcons, you guys gotta get it together defensively. I know there's a bunch of injuries here and there, but it's the next man up mentality. This team is still a team that can go to the playoffs. A lot of guys are counting you out because you're 1-4, and in division you're not gonna win the division. You're probably gonna have to fight to see if you can get a wild card spot. So I would think maybe in the NFC, maybe 9-7. Well, no, I don't think 9-7 is gonna get you into the postseason. 10-6 probably. So they're gonna have to run the table. I don't see it happening. I'm not gonna say, oh, shut it down and try to tank to get a high pick. No, you play to win the game. But for the Falcons, defense issue. For the Steelers, I already did my video on it, so I'm not going to get into it. Sunday Night Football, Texans, Cowboys, in a game in which the Cowboys defense came to play up until DeAndre Hopkins activated his dreadlock powers. But nonetheless, this defense came to play. The offensive play calling for the Texans was absolutely atrocious. Down the line, atrocious. When they got to the red zone, what are you guys doing? Bill O'Brien, get it together. There's no reason why Deshaun Watson shouldn't be able to lead that team into the end zone. They should have had way more points than they had. But guys not playing smart in the coaching. All right? That's where the hole was. But the Texans defense, they did all right. Dak was playing phenomenal. His accuracy here and there, some decision making not that well. But when his pocket presence, being able to escape sacks, was phenomenal to watch. I done gave him a standing over when he dodged Clowney and also dodged J.J. Watt. It wasn't the same play, but still it was. Wow, this man got eyes in the back of his head. But they on that L train, man. What you mean we on the L train? We that boy. We got that. We got this. Zeke couldn't even run the goddamn ball. It was wild, man. Where's Sean Lee? They need Sean Lee. But Jalen Smith, that man's legit. That man is legit. But Texans got themselves a W. Monday Night Football, Saints taking on the 40. Redskins, not the 40 Redskins. Well, I mean, 53-man roster taking on the 53 Redskins. But Saints taking on the Redskins. Drew Brees makes history. A lot of people, they don't sing the praises of Drew Brees because, oh, well, he's short. He didn't look like one of those transcendent QBs. He's my third favorite QB of all time. I am happy this man got the all-time passing mark. Now, he passed my favorite quarterback of all time, being Peyton Manning. For those who want to know what my favorite quarterbacks are, it's Peyton Manning, then Big Ben, then Drew Brees. So a lot of people say, whoa, you should have a top 5. Well, I don't really have a top 5. I guess you could throw in Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, because I do enjoy watching those two play. But nonetheless, congratulations to Drew Brees. You earned it. You deserve it. I'm happy for this man. He got a couple more years to play the game. Now, offensively, the Saints, they're still looking good. Mark Ingram came back with a vengeance, and he told Adrian Peterson, fuck out of here. You're never going to get your job back. That's why I'm on the field, and you over there with a dislocated shoulder. Adrian Peterson didn't do well on the ground. He only had 4 carries, though, or 6 carries for 4 yards, 4 carries for 6 yards, whatever it was. Wasn't great for the Redskins. Struggling. Alex Smith, he had a wide open man that could have easily been a touchdown, but he threw off his back foot, and moreover, he hesitated when throwing the ball. Get it together. Jay Gruden, get your team together. You guys looked good through the first 3 weeks. I don't know what the hell this game was, but hey. All right, big victory for the Saints. Defensively, you did all right. This man, Alex Smith, had no time to throw. The defensive pass rush was there. In the secondary, guys were doing great jobs covering people. There were a couple big plays for the Redskins here and there, but outside of that, stupendous job on defense. But this game belonged to the Saints. Moreover, it belonged to Drew Brees. So, round of applause for you becoming the NFL's all-time leading passer. I believe that is every single game. Yeah, let me just scroll just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I think that's every single game. So that does it for week 5 in the breakdown and the analysis of what transpired in the NFL. I am your host, CEO, and founder of Hold My Nuggets Incorporated. This really has nothing to do with Hold My Nuggets Incorporated, but I just enjoy saying it. I am the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis, and I'm headed back to the Shadow Realm. Let's get ready for week 6, starting tomorrow.
Over, baby. Woo!